Oh, my lights are bad. Bit better. Oh, it's chilly today. So we are crocheting chickens. Well, we're stuffing chickens. So I have a whole bunch of carcasses and I'm going to finish them off. I've just realized I haven't put the overhead light on, which is crazy. Hang on. Oh, any difference? Oh. My little office is in my conservatory, so things are pretty cold in here. Okay, let's set up the chat. There we go. Okay. And see if people arrive. Okay. So I'm hoping everybody had a good happy Christmas and has lots of plans for New Year's. Me, I am working New Year's. So plan is to sit and wait for phone calls. Maybe crochet. But yeah. So I have 13 of these to finish off. I just sat down and crocheted a load of carcasses to show you. Hey. Yeah. And then I tend to finish them off as a batch. Beaks, eyes, sew up stuff, sew up some more. And then crochet on the comb. And they are one of my best sellers. And we ran out of this one, which is Sonoma in burlap blanket. And this one, which is, I don't know if you can see, little sandcastles. Sorry about the lighting. It's not easy in the winter. Okay. Yeah, I just find it easier doing it as a batch at the end. And I knew that if I didn't go live tonight, or if I didn't make myself accountable, that I would just sit and watch telly. And I certainly wouldn't finish a project. Probably start a new project. Let me know in the chat if you have ever made the Mabel chicken pattern before. It's like super popular. And a lot of people say that these chickens look like the ones from Stardew Valley, but never played Stardew Valley, so I don't know. There we go. Now I'm trying to decide if I do all the eyes and beaks first and then stuff them, or stuff as I go. I don't know. What do you think? Cannot get my lighting right. It's like way overexposed. Let's stuff them. Do that. So I like them well stuffed. Rock hard because they do soften over time. So see if people join us today. You know, being a new YouTuber starting out with live chats is really hard. You got to get used to talking to the camera with no response at all. It's really interesting. When people put things in the chat, you can start up a topic, but until then, you're kind of just thinking of things to say, which is not something I've ever done before. But yeah, bit more stuffing. So the question is, how many am I actually going to manage to get done tonight? Don't know how long one takes me. I'll tell you what, I'll time the next one. We'll see how long it takes. And go from there. I suppose it also depends on how many people join us. Feels very premature to start prepping for market season about 5 months in advance, but I work a lot, so don't always get the time nearer the events to do the work or do all the prep. So I make all year round. Plus, we're thinking of stocking chickens in the shop that we sell at. And okay. There we go. Sorry about that. He's coming together. So I like to go over it twice to get a lovely, secure seam. There we go. Left way too much yarn to do that. Yes, my last live was a bit of a disaster. I think I spent the majority of it literally undoing a knot. And just before I came on today, I spent the majority of my evening undoing yet another knot. Seems that's all I'm doing at the moment. Now, I don't follow the Mabel chicken pattern completely. I do edit the comb a little bit. Sorry about the noise in the background. I think my other half is rooting around in the freezer. So, I think I've used this before. Oh, maybe not. Feels squishier than I'm used to. Hook. Let's do the finishing touches. And then the next one will time. Try and get a better estimate of how many we can finish. So I think the pattern calls for like making the comb and then sewing it on. I hate sewing. So I tend to just crochet it on. So I do a single crochet, half double. This is US terms. Single crochet, half double crochet in the same stitch, and then another half double and another single, and then slip off. And it's that quick. And there's no sewing involved. And once the ends are done, he's kind of cute. And these are one of my best sellers. Yeah, I work mainly in US terminology. Most of the tutorials are in US terminology. I do know the English version, but I have to think about it. It's like the second crochet language. Okay. And there you have it. First guy done. I love these guys. They're sort of handheld little dudes. Right, shall we? I'm going to pop him there so he can just stare at us. Don't know how well you can see him, but you know, nice to have something in the background. Right, next. Okay, this one I'm going to time. So I've been live for 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's see how long. Hi, Judith. How are you? The first person to comment today. All right. Okay. 1, 2. I have pre-prepped a whole bunch of chicken carcasses. Sat and did them earlier this afternoon while I was waiting for a guy from Facebook to show up, buying some of my furniture, who didn't actually show up. It's really annoying when they do that. And yeah. Also been to a kid's birthday party today. very loud. But the kids had a great time. What else have I been doing? General house stuff, really. We are prepping to move, so there's a lot of clearing. And actually, there's a video coming out. Well, I'm in the middle of editing at the moment, and that's sorting out my yarn stash. Not the stash behind me. That's a January thing. The stash that was in the loft that I didn't even know what was in it, really. So it's going to be fun. But it's sorted. It is done. And I have a whole pile of stuff over there that I've got to sort through. But January is going to be my stash bust. Stash bust month. God, that's harder to say than you think. Is anyone else doing a stash bust January? I need to come up with a better name for that because that's a tongue twister. But yeah, stash bust January. And then February is my whip. Hiya. Well, a lot of people are finding me for the first time because I'm very, very new. I started this YouTube channel like a month and a bit ago, and I am learning. But I needed a new challenge, something to get a bit of me back after having the kids. And this is one of my favorite hobbies. And I needed some crochet buddies or some, yes, you know, yarn buddies, really. Keep me company. Right. He's coming along. What time did I say I started this? I was live for about like 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Where are you located? I'm in Toronto, Canada. I am down south of England in Hampshire. It is cold. It is dark. It is 8:15 in the evening. Yeah, I don't know how cold it is, but it feels cold. But I reckon Canada's probably pretty chilly right now. Okay. Yeah. Do any of you crochet or knit? Have a skill that I don't have. What are your fun crafts to do? And have you done anything interesting over the holidays? I made a few wearables for Christmas. Managed to finish a lot of them in time. It's freezing here. Snow is one of those things that I love because it's beautiful if it's untouched. The second it starts melting, becoming ice, getting in the way of like life, it's a bit annoying. England is just not prepped for any change in weather. And given the fact that we have a lot of weathers, we should probably be a bit more prepared than that. But we're not. The British aren't prepared for the snow. And I count myself in that. Very much so. But yeah, I think there's been a threatening snowstorm here for a while. Everybody said, oh, you know, be prepared. If it happens, it happens. I, touch wood, have never been snowed in. So, yeah. And with my job, I can't afford for it either. There's no excuse to not go to work. Right. But yeah, I'm sitting in my conservatory, which is like glass panels and a plastic roof. It is freezing out here. And instead of being all tucked up in my like overalls and pajamas, I thought I'd look a bit better if I had a cardigan on. But what you can't see, I've got like blankets and blankets and blankets because it's freezing out here. That's good for me. It's good to have. I look forward to watching your channel grow. Ah, thank you. I hope it will grow. I looked up, I Googled how many subscribers you should have before going live because it was one of the things I did really want to do. And they said like 50. And I was like, oh, I was thinking you needed like 1,000 before you should go live. But actually, not many people turn up. But it's quite nice because you can have like chats with just single people. And also it holds me accountable. I get stuff done if I go live. Not the last live. The last live was terrible. Literally had every intention of doing loads of stuff and then just got stuck with one knot the entire time. I think it took me about 50 minutes to get the knot undone, and by that I was done. Did not want to carry on. But yeah, I think things grow slowly, and that is absolutely fine by me. It's taken me 13 years to get to where I am in my career. And I just got offered a new job, which I'm very excited about. Do I knit? Now, I learned to knit when I was a kid, and because my tension is so tight, I am terrible at knitting. I can't. The loops are so tight, I can't actually get the needle in. So I stopped, and I have tried again. But I usually end up doing a lot of swearing when I knit. So no, I don't, and I don't really intend on it. However, I have recently bought a knitting machine, and I'm a little bit addicted. It's super, super fun because you can make different things with knitting. They've got a lot more stretch, so actually it's really good for wearables. And there is a video that I'm also in the process of editing. I'm really good at filming the footage, not so great at the editing. And yeah, of buying the knitting machine and using up a lot of my stash on making ear warmers in preparation for next year. Yeah, just getting it all done in advance. But yeah, no, I don't think I'm a knitter. I'm definitely a crocheter. And doing amigurumi, you need tight tension. So it kind of works. My natural tight tension works for amigurumi. Although I do a lot of wearables now, and I'm loving branching out and doing different things because I am very restricted in amigurumi in the UK. You have to get all of your products tested. Your yarn has to be tested. Everything's got to be done properly, which I've done. But it means that if I see a nice yarn I like in the store, I can't just use it for anything. Hence why I make wearables, because they are much less restrictive on what you can and can't use. You still obviously have to use certain types of yarn, certain safety parameters, but it's not as tight as toys. Yeah, and I'm glad I do it properly, because actually Trading Standards did come to my last, well, not my last show, the show before, and I passed. It was all good. But it was really nice that they came, and I literally wasn't bricking it. I knew I had done everything correctly. I knew I had the paperwork to prove it. He tested me as well. I didn't know who he was to start with. I thought he was just a customer. And yeah, and I was the only one at that show that had done everything properly. It sucks because in the US you can use whatever you want, and I am a little bit jealous. Don't get me wrong, I love that we have safety standards, but it would be nice to not have to burn my stuff or tear it apart or prod it, poke holes in it, attach weights to it. It's kind of heartbreaking when you make something new, especially when it's a bigger item. When you've spent hours working on something and then you need to tear it apart. Anyway, I tested these chickens a couple of years ago now. And then I had to retest when I changed how I did the comb. But it all passed fine. It's all good. It's super simple. Yeah. Right. Number 2 is being finished. Right. There you go. Yeah, so there aren't the same rules. There are in Europe. So there's something called CE marking in Europe. And there's, after Brexit, There's UKCA marking. We used to have CE marking as well, until, you know, we chose to leave. And then the UK had to come up with something of their own. So it's UKCA marking, which is exactly the same tests, like exactly the same. It's just you have to fill in an extra form if you want to sell in Europe. So you fill in the UKCA paperwork and then you fill in the CE paperwork, but it's the same tests. But yeah, I watch a lot of US crocheters, and it's just that they get to use all sorts of different yarns, and they try something in one and then they can say, oh, I'll just edit that and I'll make it this. Or yeah, that's the only bit I'm jealous about. But yeah, I'm glad we have safety standards. I am glad. And it works for me. Once you've done it, you've done the testing, it's great. You can sell your products. You just have to make them to the same standard every time. And it's actually relatively easy to make like different colors. There's a lot of due diligence about it. But yeah, strict rules, abide by them and you'll be fine. One thing I'm sad about is that Joanne's went bust earlier this year, because the other half and I want to go to the US, and I'm a bit of a geek. I've never been to the US. I would love to see Walmart and Target and like the big supermarkets, but I really wanted to see the big yarn stores as well. So I'm a little sad that now that one's gone. It's Michael's, and Michael's apparently is doing better and has got more yarn selection. Here we don't have masses. We have Hobbycraft, which has some yarn. 2. Okay, so he took longer than I thought, but I've been talking. I go up that. Okay. Yeah, we have Hobbycraft, and then we've got independent yarn stores, which are lovely. And I think the closest one to me is something called the Jolly Stitcher. I went there the other day because I ran out of yarn for a project for my nephew just before Christmas and tried to order it online. Wasn't necessarily going to come before Christmas, and so ordered it and still went around other yarn stores trying to find it anyway. He got it 2 days late, but you know, he's 18 months. He don't care. Yeah, so the Jolly Stitcher is the newest one, and I ended up going in and they didn't have the yarn I was looking for, but I came out with 6 balls of yarn. That math doesn't math. Yes, they also have Hobby Lobby. Yeah, online is good. I get the majority of my yarn from Wool Warehouse in the UK. They've got loads of yarn. And I get an NHS discount because I am in healthcare. So I get, I think it's 20% off. But you have to get like a new code every month. So you email them for the code, they give you the code, and then you get 20% off. I tend to do one big order per month. I'm going to try and avoid doing that, but I can already, my basket is already ready to go. However, it's not enough to get free shipping this time because I'm trying not to buy loads of yarn because we are moving house and we are downsizing somewhere smaller. So the yarn is, yeah, although I am getting my own office, so I'm very excited. The yarn is going to be located in one place in the house rather than, you know, like 8 different places. But yeah, I'm hoping to do maybe a little bit of vlogging about setting up, decorating the yarn room. And I'm going to get myself a desk because it's what I'm resting on right now is one of those like put you up market tables, which is working fine for me. It's just, it's not very practical. Like I'd like some drawers and some shelves and things and, you know, some heating. That would be great. And proper lighting, because the light I have here is just the cheapy bulb that's dying a death. But yeah, looking forward to moving. It's going to be good. It's a fixer-upper. We're downsizing to make things a bit more affordable. And hopefully save for the forever home in which hopefully I'll have a massive yarn room. I've always dreamed of converting an attic and just craft like bespoke shelving units and everything at your fingertips. Because crochet was not my first craft. I've only been crocheting 2.5 years now. I picked it up after I had my daughter. New office sounds awesome. Yeah, so I've got all my cotton yarn in a unit in the lounge. Then I have a couple of boxes by where I sit on the sofa. We recently brought down all of the yarn from the loft, which has been sitting up there for a little while now. And that yarn is predominantly yarn I can't use for the toys. And I'm going to try and put a lot of it through the knitting machine to make ear warmers and use it up because I don't want to get rid of it. I've donated a lot of it, but I don't want to get rid of it. I bought it because I like it. And then obviously the yarn behind me, the majority of it is for the toys. Not all of it. I've got scrunchies. I've got some lovely yarn there from independent yarn stores. All of that is toys, and then a bit of Christmas yarn left over from a project I never finished, and then burlap for the toys. Nice stash. This, believe it or not, is like less than half the stash. There's loads, but it's all in boxes, piles, packets, cardboard boxes on the floor. It's everywhere, and I love it, and I'm not getting rid of it. But in the new office, hopefully, we'll keep this unit. I've got other units I want to put in, new desk, new shelves, and make it my little. I want it to be my YouTube office as well, but I will have to use it for my actual like full-time work. But I'll just blur the background. No one needs to see that how much yarn I've got when you do like Teams meetings. And they say that there are several types of hobbies. So crochet is one hobby, but purchasing yarn is another hobby. And it gives me such pleasure. I don't get pleasure from buying clothes or, fancy electronics, gadgets, that kind of thing, unless it's to do with crochet. I'll put that right. But I do get my little buzz from buying yarn. And the beauty of it is we started part of this business so that I could branch out and afford different types of yarn. And we actually don't make much of a profit. Well, we didn't in the first part of the business because I spent it on yarn. But now I built up a lovely stash and I could probably live on this for a year or two. But I need to stash bust for January because I don't want to move all of this to the new house. I cannot do it. I only have one room. It's the box room. So it's small. It's bigger than our current box room, but it is still small. I have 2 kids. They have a lot of stuff. They take priority. I get it. And Christmas has just happened, so we have a lot of toys in the house. Does anyone feel me there? Toys everywhere. Don't get me wrong. They love it, and I'm very grateful to everybody that bought them toys. But we have too many toys. But yeah, they're loving playing with the Christmas stuff, which is all over my house. But then the yarn is all over the house, so I can't really complain. Yeah. And also when you've got it in like boxes and dressers and drawers and stuff, you can't see what you've got. You end up buying more stuff, I find. So I'll be like, oh, I've run out of X color in this yarn. And so I'll order 2 more balls. And then later on, I'll find out actually I've got a couple. And I'm like, oh, for goodness sake, now I've got loads. Or I'll think I've got more, haven't got more. So when I come to find the yarn I need, I can't find it. And then it's out of stock and I can't get it either. So I'm like, when I set this up behind me, it was originally so I could have a background for YouTube. But actually, it's really, really nice to just be able to go in, pick a skein of yarn and work with it. Yes, I don't always tidy up. And yes, it used to be a lot more organized behind me. It's gotten a bit haphazard and I need to spruce it up a tad. But I don't see the point in doing that at the moment if I'm moving. So when I move, I am going to do it all lovely. But the yarn in, hang on, backwards, this bit is the type of yarn I started with, and I don't want to use anymore. When they were delivering it was harder to get hold of. And when they were delivering it, there was less consistency in the yarn. So it was really stringy and it wasn't as thick, and I didn't like it. And my toys weren't coming out the same way I like them to. So that's when I've changed to this yarn here and in this one. But these are all double deep as well. So there's a whole load of yarn behind this, and I've got to work through it because I'm not wasting it. Really, you can see. Yeah, you say I can see everything. There's a whole load of yarn behind this yarn. And I know it's there, but I don't know what colors I've got. But I need to work through this section because I'm not going to buy any more of that brand again, because I don't need to, because I've tested my toys in this one now. So they're tested in both, which is great and means I can use it up. I'm only making certain toys with the old yarn. And the yarn behind is a secret stash. Yes, except for the fact that it's taking up space and I want to buy more nice stuff. I would love to have more of a stash of this one. It's falling apart, but the colors are so vibrant and there's so many options. When I first tried it, I bought 2 skeins of it just to see what it felt like, see how it worked up, and it was lovely. So then I decided to buy one of every color. There was like 60 colors, just to see, you know, which ones I wanted to keep. And I'm still working my way through that 60. I found some that I use regularly. So I've got my pastel rainbow colors. I've got my bright rainbow colors. I've got my pride colors because I do a lot of pride work. And then I've got my frogs, my ducks, that kind of thing. We can never have too much yarn. It's also gorgeous. We want it all. It's very true. Very true. I love it. When we've made, my other half has asked for a granny's. I've never made a granny square blanket. I do not have the attention span for it. I just don't sew it together. I just wouldn't do it. But my other half has desperately asked for a granny square blanket for our bedroom. Now we have a Super King bed and an Emperor duvet. It's blooming massive. And so I said, okay, I'll do it on 1, maybe 2 conditions. And that we buy some hand-dyed Hanks, really nice yarn. And I will make the squares out of that and put it together. And we'll get a couple of Hanks when we go on holiday. So every time we go on holiday, we find a yarn store. We go to the yarn store and we pick a worsted weight hand-dyed yarn to add to the ones that I'm going to make the granny squares with. And then I'll have to sew it all together. But yeah, so it means I get to spend money at independent yarn stores guilt-free. It's working. So where are we at? This is one of them that I bought recently. We're a very blue, teal, purple kind of people. So this is a very plain hand-dyed Hank. And the other color is in there that we bought. I think it's like a bluey purple color. It was our last holiday. We only made this decision like 3-4 months ago. We've only been on 1 holiday at that point. We've got another one in February, which is was gifted to us. We're very lucky by family members that unfortunately can't go on the holiday for health reasons. But it means we get a lovely little cottage for a week. So we get to find a yarn store. Yeah. They're good colours. They are good colours. Although I have just made a couple of ear warmers in like a sagey green, 2 different shades of sage green. And oh my God, they're gorgeous. And they're so soft. It was a really cheap yarn. Like I got it at the one around the corner from us. Super cheap yarn. And they've turned out amazing. They've turned out so, so nice. I am going to go back and buy more because I think they're going to sell quite well. Plus it's so soft, that yarn. But yeah. So yeah, green, teals, purples, cool palette. I'm also a grey person. I like grey. Right, Mr. Chicken. Do. Poke you in the head. But yeah, a cool yarn stash is a must-have if you have a yarn buying addiction. But I like the idea that I have basically like a little mini shop in my own house. And I can just work with whatever I fancy that day. Obviously I have things I have to do. But this time of year I like because we don't have any events until end of May. So I can make things leisurely. Yes, I do. We work, so we sell at conventions, markets, and sort of festivals. We mainly do the bigger events now rather than the sort of regular markets. We started doing the 50 quid tables, things like that. But the business started out as a jewelry business. It still is. So we make, well, I say we, my other half makes jewelry from board game pieces and Legos. And that's how it all started. And then when the crochet came in, it made a bit more money, which meant we could afford to do bigger events and took bigger risks. Some of them paid off, some of them did not. I'm not saying it's all, hunky-dory. 3. Let's just pile them up there, I think. Ooh. Yeah, so my favourite convention is something called UKGE, which is the UK Games Expo. And it's held in Birmingham every year at the end of May on the bank holiday weekend. And it's just such a good convention. Everybody is so lovely. The vendors are lovely. The customers are lovely. They're so organized. It's such a good convention to do. We've done it 2 years now, and we have a place confirmed for next year. It's a bigger pitch, but with less customer-facing sides, because we couldn't get the pitch we wanted, which would have been the same pitch as we had last year. However, because it wasn't an end cap pitch, we had a little bit of extra money in the budget, so we've decided to go for an area in like the premium section. So there's a bit more footfall, more traffic, and it's our biggest event of the year. So I have 5 months to prep for the season, which starts then, and then we go from one pride to another pride. We've kind of got repeat customers now coming, which is lovely. So get people that come say, oh, I bought this from you last year, or oh, I've got these, do you still sell these, because I want this in another color. And it's really nice, actually, because you know that your products stand the test of time. People like them, they come back for more. So yeah, Games Expo, prides, county shows we've done, although we're probably not going back this year. It wasn't the best event we did last year, and a lot of people struggled to even make their pitch fee. We made our pitch fee and more, but it has to be worth our time. So for us to do a market, my other half is disabled, so I help out with the setup and all of that, and she struggles to be on her feet, so I do some of the selling as well. I don't do any of the admin. That's not my bag. And yeah, so then because I'm there and she's there, we have to get childcare. We have 2 kids now. I don't have many people that will take care of both of them at the same time, because they're hard work. They're little. So yeah, for us to do an event, it has to be worth our while. So ideally, has to be like a 4-figure weekend for us to do it. If it makes less than 4 figures, then we don't usually do it again. I am sad though, because we're missing one event next year that we've done for the past few years that I love. It's a lovely money maker, but it's a lovely event to go to. And this year we've got a family wedding, so we can't go. Don't get me wrong, the wedding's gonna be great, but I am a bit gutted we can't do that event. Yeah, kids love it. I love it. It's just fun. But yeah, so we do that. What else are we doing next year in the pipeline? We did a Comic-Con this year. It was not lucrative for us. But then again, it did badly for a lot of the vendors I spoke to. What they did was they didn't increase the ticket sales, but they doubled the amount of vendors. So you had double the amount of stalls for the same amount of people in a cost of living crisis. So the money was really diluted and the sales were all diluted. We still made money, but it didn't meet the criteria for going back for us. Unless they change things, we probably wouldn't do that one again. But it was a great weekend though. I have the luxury of just being the driver. So I drive the van, I do the heavy lifting, I cover the stall when she needs a pee break, but otherwise I get to enjoy the events. Like, it's great fun for me. And especially when we go away, because as of next year, we can leave the kids behind. My son has been too small this year to leave behind, but next year he is staying with his nana. And my daughter is staying with my sister. So we get some time away that's kid-free, which, yeah, don't know what that's like anymore. But yeah, doing events with kids behind the stall has been interesting. They do make sales. They bring people in. Yeah. The thing is, my kids growing up at the festivals and stuff we go to, that we tend to do a lot of family-friendly ones because we sell toys. But it's just a really nice, like, little lifestyle, and making memories and getting out and doing things as a family whilst still making it part of the business. Just works well for us. So I would highly recommend it. We started small. We started at little markets. Start there and work your way up. It's great. It's hard work, not going to lie. It is hard work, and it can be really stressful, especially in the build-up. Like, the build-up to any event is hard work, because you're always like frantically making things last minute. No matter how prepared you are, no matter how much inventory you've got, the night before, I am still making things. Like, I went with about 120 chickens for the last event we did. We nearly ran out. There was a lot of chickens. They are so popular. But I've only got 13 carcasses here, and I doubt I will get them all done on this live, because so far we've done 3.5. But yeah, they're all still here. I've got quite a few that I've made recently. I've got some brown ones and some speckled ones, but I've run out of the yarns for the other colors, so I branched out on my colors. My other half said, oh, people won't buy those, they don't look like chickens. Well, they did. They looked really good, and they sold. So we're buying more yarn. But yeah, good sellers for us are chickens, frogs. Frogs are big. Who knew? Any like last year it was dragons and dinosaurs. Mind you, dinosaurs do still sell. I just hate making them. There's certain things in crochet I don't like doing, and making feet, like 4 feet, and then crocheting them all together up in the round, because yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just never been my favorite thing. But yeah. What about you? Do you do any markets? Anyone do any markets here? What, so doing the feet and then working up in the round? I also hate sewing. Any form of sewing anything together, absolutely not. So essentially what I'm doing now, I hate. So I thought let's do it with other people. But yeah, anyone do markets, craft markets, any form of bits and pieces? What have you found that works well? Just realised I dropped some gravy on myself. What have you realised that works well? Good events, tips, tricks. We've been doing this. This was our 3rd year now, but we are still learning. We basically started this. My other half quit her job when I went back to work after my daughter, and started this business so that she could be at home, but still earn money. It worked really nicely. It's a lot of work for me because I work 3 jobs and this, and I'm a parent. So for me, it's a lot. But, you know, it means I get to buy yarn. I don't know if there are any markets here, any Christmas church bazaars. Aw, cute. That's sweet. I do give a lot of things away. Mainly as gifts. Sorry, my needle just went under the laptop. Mainly as gifts. I like to cheer people up. I got into making scarves this year. Like I've done 4 or 5 scarf gifts in the last month or 2. And yeah, I really enjoyed making them, knowing that I was doing it for somebody I cared about. Yeah, and I finally finished my nephew's blanket. My sister asked for it when he was born. She said she's only got pink blankets from when her daughter was born, and she'd like something a bit more boyish, a bit more blue. And I started it when she was pregnant. He was 18 months old on Christmas Day. And he got it like a couple of days after Christmas Day. So yeah, he got it eventually. I just, when I started it, I ran out of yarn. And when I ran out of yarn, you've got to order more yarn. And then when that yarn comes, you don't want to work on that project anymore because you've moved on already. And so it was kind of a stop, start. And then I ran out of yarn again. It turned out to be a bigger project than I thought because I'm no good with blankets. I always make them way too wide and then never have enough yarn to finish it because it doesn't get long enough to account for the width. Because I always feel that they should be a bit longer than their width. So then you're making this blimmin' massive blanket because you started with too many chains. But it turned out really beautiful. And it's big enough, it should last him a while. And because it's so big, it's also really weighty as well. And I really like weighted blankets. Yeah, King Cole Comfort Chunky. Oh, lovely yarn. Really super soft. Highly recommend it. Your teacher. Oh, bless you. That's so sweet. That is so. I've never made mittens, but that is really, really sweet. I tried making hats in the summer for my kids. I made bucket hats, but again, my tension is too tight. The hats didn't fit. I made my daughter an adult size hat. Yes, she has a big head. But my tension was so tight, it didn't fit her. Another one. And I admire you for teaching. Not for me. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't have the patience or the toleration for the noise. But yeah. My other half got me these for Christmas because I asked for some sharper snips. Such a cute chicken, thank you. Or they make a great snip sound when you cut the yarn. Yeah. So good scissors. Oh, hang on. You're going to be off center. But yeah. Chickens are super easy to make. Any beginners out there, I would highly recommend the maple chicken pattern. It is so easy to make. It's, yeah, super simple. and it makes something really cute at the end of it. Each chicken carcass takes me about 10 minutes when I'm concentrating, which I'm never concentrating. I'm always doing more than one thing at a time. But when I do concentrate, about 10 minutes. And then the stuffing, I find, takes about 15. But yeah, it's all the embroidering of the face. I think if you use safety eyes, it would be quicker. But I don't use safety eyes on my smaller projects. I only use them on like the big toys. I don't want to take the risk. And I use the eyes when I feel that they add something else to the project. So like the glitter safety eyes for the bigger toys. Yeah. Otherwise, they're a really quick project. And you get something really cute at the end of it. And people love them. But yeah, it's really cute. You make things for your students. I've never made a chicken yet. Nope, no legs, no wings, no nothing. It's they're so easy. They're great. I usually and we display them at the market, and we bought like a wooden hen house. So I put chickens in and then a couple of fried eggs at the top. So I make sort of bits of food and stuff. And I made the fried eggs to be a bit ironic initially, but people bought them. Like I made 12 for the last couple of shows, and they've all gone. So people usually buy a fried egg with a chicken. That's ironic and funny. But yeah, I like making food bits as well. Cute way to display them. Yeah, the hen houses are great. Really good. I think we paid like £22 or something for ours. It's still going 3 years later, and it works a treat. People like walk past, but they notice the hen house, and we put the hen house sort of near where the like card reader where we stand, because they are one of our best sellers. So we usually put like bowls of the smaller stuff, the £5 items, the regular really popular stuff, and the chickens right by where we stand, and as a consequence they all sell really well. But yeah, one of my favorites to make. I'm feeling like I want to do a how many chickens can I make in a day, a week kind of video, but I'm not sure. I've got quite a few ideas for the new year. I want to go live once a week. I'd like to stick to a specific day, but that's not always possible, unfortunately. So I was on call. I have been doing Mondays, but I was on call last night, and I'm on call tomorrow night. And whilst I can go live if I'm on call, because I'm on call from home with a phone, I don't know if I want to just like abruptly end a live if I get a phone call. But yeah, it's up for debate in our house at the moment. But yeah, live once a week. I'm going to try and get videos out as much as possible. I'd love to do once a week. I think once a fortnight is much more achievable for me at the moment. And I'm enjoying making shorts. Just practicing. For somebody that's never really done social media or any form of photography, videoing, none of that. This is all a new challenge. Yeah. Embracing the challenges. So here's the question. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. Does anyone have any New Year's resolutions, or what I prefer to say is New Year's goals? Whether they're related to crafting or not. Mine are mostly around, the YouTube channel. I've got a lot of big events happening with my job next year. And yeah, get all that done. I could never do a channel. I'm a big little chicken. That's me. Little chicken. You say that. I've been watching YouTube for years, and I started getting into crochet YouTubers when I started crocheting. And then I started doing the overthinking thing maybe about a year and a half ago. Like, I could do that. I reckon I could do that. And then I never did it. And then I did all of the, research and watched loads of videos on how to make a YouTube channel or how to make a video or how to talk to people. And realized I had none of the technical skills, but actually talking to people and being a bit animated, I could do, but only in real life. I'd never done it to a screen. And I'm not going to lie, it's weird. It's really weird, especially during like making videos, because there is no feedback. At least with the live, you get somebody chatting to you. With videos, there's no feedback. It's all after the fact, and it's not immediately after either. It's sort of, you watch the trends and it sort of gradually gets a little bit more and a little bit more views, and yeah, and you have no idea if you're doing things right, if there is a right way. But yeah, so I watched a whole load of things, overthought it a lot, and did what every person says don't do, and didn't post anything, didn't make anything, just researched and looked it up and chickened out, and I didn't have time for that. We're doing this. I haven't got the right equipment. And then I just one day thought, you know what? I should just do it. And I did. And I don't regret it. This is all very new. But I've got people sitting here watching me now. And I'm getting stuff done. It's kind of fun. It's quite cool. And that's for a person that doesn't do social media or any of the other stuff. You should watch the video. What channel were you a guest on? I want to watch it. But yeah, it's a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. I've bought an editing software to try and make things a bit easier. Because yeah, I thought if I pay the annual hooker versus hooker. Okay, I'm so Googling that. Hooker versus hooker. It's a good title. Forgot what I was saying now. Yeah, I thought if I pay the annual subscription for the editing software, then I actually have to do this to make that worthwhile. Otherwise, my other half is going to kill me. Basically, she was like, yes, if you're going to do it, you can pay for the software. Like, okay. And I think she never thought I could do it, was going to do it. I think she thought I could do it, but I think she thought I was never going to do it because I'd been thinking about it for so long. And hadn't actually done anything about it. But I think what clinched it was I had a lot of people at the markets like to talk to that do crochet but haven't gotten very far, and they were like, do you do tutorials? And I was like, no, we don't. So I was like, I think I want to do tutorials. I think I want to teach crochet, and that is one of the big plans for the new year. So alongside the vlogs, I have a few patterns that I want to do tutorials on. But to do that, I think I've got to have like the basic stitch tutorials on the channel. I know there's loads out there, but I feel like if I can say, and please refer to this, people won't get confused as much. But yeah, I've got some very basic tutorials. I'm currently working on a kimono pattern, just making it up at the moment as I go along, because I wanted a kimono. And actually it's kind of cute. Yeah, it's kind of cute. And I was doing it using like my yarn that I've just sorted through that I'm not using for anything. It was actually yarn that I bought to do a temperature blanket last year and never did the temperature blanket because realized I hate doing blankets. They take forever and you never finish them. And I got so far behind. And again, I'd gone too wide with the blanket. I'd chosen the wrong stitch, so it was then too long. Like, I got to the midway through February and my blanket was already the size of a regular blanket. I was like, I still have 10 and a half months to go. This is not for me. So I frogged it and still have a lot of the yarn left over because it was only the cold months that I did. So it was a very blue blanket. I think it was like 300 granny clusters per row. I went wrong. But yeah, so I got a load of yarn left over from that. So I started making a kimono based on, I saw a video about somebody that sells them and thought, oh, it's super cute. It's really not that difficult to make. But there was loads of people asking for a pattern. I was like, I'm sure there's patterns on Etsy, but I don't want to sell the pattern. I want to do a YouTube tutorial. So if I create a pattern, then these people asking the questions will potentially have a pattern that can be Googled. There we go. The light is terrible. I'm really sorry, but he looks cute in real life. Oh, they're piling up. You see them? Sorry, it's back to front. Oh, we're getting there. Almost halfway. Yeah, I haven't decided how long I'm going to go live for tonight. As long as people are watching and chatting, I think I'll just stick around. Yeah. So yeah, kimono pattern, basic cat ear beanie that I've kind of made up my own pattern on. There's a few like amigurumi things, but my worry is they're not going to be original enough. Like the things I want to do tutorials on. But then the things I've made, a lot of people sell their patterns but don't do like a video tutorial for free. I'm quite happy to do it for free. I don't really want to sell patterns. We have opened an Etsy store. There is currently nothing in it because I haven't gotten around to uploading anything. But we are starting an online platform to sell some of the actual products. So I suppose in the future I could sell patterns. I just wouldn't know where to start with writing them. Like I can explain it. And I could write it down in like my terminology, but it wouldn't be pretty and it wouldn't necessarily be easy for somebody else to read. So I'd have to learn that as well. There's a lot of learning. But this is going to be a big year for me because I'm taking a big step up in my career. So that's all going on as well. It's about time. I've been putting it off for many years. And yeah, so a lot of excitement for 2026 for me. All very positive. Moving house, new job, new YouTube channel. We're talking holidays at the moment as well. We were looking to do 4 weeks in Italy, which is where my in-laws live. But I'd need to take parental leave from it. And I start my new job in August, and we were thinking of doing it in September. And I don't think it's particularly appropriate to say, hi, I'm starting work. Can I have 4 weeks off, please? So we're probably not going to do that. But still hoping to do like maybe 2 weeks somewhere. Yeah, hoping to do like 2 weeks somewhere just for fun. And we've been talking about the US. Apparently Orlando, not like Disneyland. Orlando is good for young kids, is what we've read. But if anyone knows anyone from Orlando or has any ideas what it's like, let me know. Make things go. That's exactly where I am. And quite often when I buy a pattern, because I buy a lot of patterns, when I buy a pattern, I read it and I think, I'm not doing it that way. I know enough to probably make my own, but I'm just lazy and don't really do it that way. So I know what I want to make. I can see it in my head. And I think, it'd just be easier if I could have like the basics or the grounding from somebody else. So buy it, look at it, decide I'm not doing it that way, and then do it my way, but with the grounding of somebody else's work, if that makes sense. So in amigurumi, whenever they say start by making a magic ring and doing 6 single crochets, very rarely do I ever do that, because it gives you a lot of coning. You don't get your flat base, although this is a 6 single crochet starter. But the way this worked, I tried it doing 8 single crochets when I first started out, and it just didn't have the same effect because of the way they do the increases in the chicken. So yeah, I changed pretty much everything about the pattern, but I found another pattern I want to do. I'm thinking of doing, I have a video idea, and I'm currently looking for a couple of patterns to make the video based on. And it's based on a TV series. And I'm struggling between a few patterns because they're going to take a lot of effort and a lot of work. So it's going to be a lot of work in 1 week to do the video. But I think it could be really cool. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. It probably won't be a first couple of months of the year kind of video, because most of those are already kind of pre-thought out. And we start filming Thursday for our January ones. I've got 3 in the pipeline that are still being edited. Like I say, I'm good at filming things. I'm just not very good at editing them in a timely fashion. I've got loads of footage that I need to fix. Yeah, so next week I am going to be making scrunchies on the live, I think. I want to use up some of this and this yarn. And they're quite good sellers for us, but we sell them really super cheap. Probably cheaper than we should, but we still make a small profit. They don't take me long to do. They're a really mind-numbing project, and they bring people in, and quite often people will buy something and think, oh, I'll take a couple of those as well. So that they are a good thing to have on the store. I think scrunchies always, makes sense. You find people selling them for lots more than we do, and you could argue that we undercut people, but that's not the intention. We tried selling them for higher prices and they just didn't go as well. And for things that I don't like making, or for things that sell super well, that I make a lot of, we sell for higher prices. If I can make something, if I don't make much of it, or I don't like making it, we sell it for a higher price. If it's super easy to make and I can sort of batch make them, then we sell them for a lower price. And that's kind of just how we equal out. Yeah, pretty much. But yeah. Quite like making them. I think a lot of people make scrunchies. In fact, I don't know a crocheter that doesn't make scrunchies. I've got a lot of yarn to use up because I don't want to move any of my scrunchie yarn to the new place. I want to make it all up, put it in a box ready for the season, and go. And then I can buy new yarn when I get home, when I get into my new house. Yeah, I just don't want to move it. There we go. We've already pre-bought the storage boxes for it all. So I kind of have like a mission to get as much done as possible. So yeah, we'll be making scrunchies next week on the live. And I'm hoping Monday, I think. Taking the Christmas decorations down Monday and then go live in the evening. It's also the eldest's first day back at preschool. Yes. Childcare. Christmas has been intense. Very overstimulated. Me and the kids. But yeah, you don't make scrunchies if you're not a fan of using thick fuzzy yarn. So you don't have to use thick fuzzy yarn. I make them, right, so I've got 3 different types of yarn up there. One that I've never used before, and it was a fur yarn that I bought for a different reason and never used it for that reason. So I decided I'm going to make scrunchies with it, but I've never actually made a fur scrunchie. So that's going to be a new test for me. And then I have 2 other types of yarn. I have this stuff, which is too thick. And once I've used that up, that's it. I'm not buying it again. It makes a decent enough scrunchie, but it's a bit too thick to have like the really good wave. So yeah, I don't like it. I did. Oh, this guy's a bit skew-if. Yeah, I did like it. I don't. And then I've got the velvet, which is, God, it's really hard doing this up there. And that's actually quite thin. It's burnout velvet. If you get the chance to try it, it's worth a try. I came across it when I was buying this, which is Burnout Brights. And I just thought, oh, what else do Burnout do? There's some other stuff I want to buy from Burnout. It's just a bit more expensive because it's for a personal project. So when it's personal, I have to think about the price. When it's for the business, I don't think about the price. I just buy it and then deal with the consequences. But yeah, so I bought the Burnout Velvet. I don't buy the Burnout Baby Velvet. It is too thin. And I double stranded the Baby Velvet as well. And then it becomes too thick. It just doesn't work. Whereas the regular velvet works a treat. It's really good width or thickness for scrunchies. And it's not thick at all. Although it depends on what you actually work with regularly. If you work with like really thin fingerling yarn, then maybe it is a bit thick. I've never worked with fingerling yarn. I don't think I ever could. Although in my recent video, I did work with lace yarn. Never again. It was so thin. It made a beautiful, beautiful item, but it was so thin. It was ridiculous. I double stranded it. If you haven't seen the video, go see the video. But I double stranded it and it turned out wonderful. No spoilers, but I won't be working with that yarn again. It was painful. I'm not a lace artist. I saw at the most recent convention I went round, and I've got footage of a lot of the crocheters because I want to put it in the video when I make it eventually, when I get around to editing it. And someone I found sells earrings, crochet earrings. She uses a 0.2 millimeter hook. 0.2. I don't even use a 2 millimeter hook, let alone a 0.2. Worsted weight yarn is all right. You'd be all right with Burnout Velvet. It's not. Hang on. Oh, I'm going to regret this, aren't I? So, this is a worsted weight strand in there, but it's not that different. I suppose when I use worsted weight yarn, I use it to make clothing, so I'm much looser. Whereas this is tighter, I use it tighter. What, this one? This is pine. Oh, I love this color. A lot of people buy this with their kids because there's a lot of like green school uniforms and things. So that worked quite well for that. But yeah. Oh, we're done there. Yeah, tiny hook. Tiny hook. The blue one. Yeah, the blue one's lovely. That's for our, the granny square blanket that I will be making at some point when I have free time in probably about 18 years. No, it's going to happen. The blanket is hopefully going to take a few years, but not a decade is the idea. Less than a decade, but more than a year. Yeah, I just have a lot to do. I've made one square so far, like a whole one. But I have to use a 4 millimeter hook, and it works up so tiny, so it takes forever. And I want to do it properly, and I want to do it really neatly, so I'm doing it slowly. And I enjoy the yarn buying process. I also bought, when I bought that yarn, I also bought another yarn that's a bit thicker. That's on there, and also up at the back. And I made it into a cat ear beanie. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so silky soft. It was 100% super wash merino wool. So soft. So soft. Really, really lovely. Come on, chickens. Right. 6. I love how sturdy they are. They can be used for a ball. Right. 6 guys. Not 5 guys anymore. Okay. We're getting there. There's like 7 left. It's really cold out here. 90 granny squares. 90 granny squares. That's a lot of granny squares. I just don't have the attention span. I'd love to do it. And I know it will get done because I really want this blanket. But I also know that it's not going to be done soon. I think that's one of the common things of being a crochet artist is we all don't finish projects. You can't see it. On top of this unit, there are 7 boxes of whips. See that? That's for another day. Yeah, I'm doing Stash Bosh January, Whip February. That's the plan. I already worked on a lot of my whips. I did a little whip series when I first started YouTube and didn't finish it because I don't finish things. But I made quite a big dent and I need to carry it on because everything up there I can finish and sell. It's super easy. But yeah, what would usually happen is I'd make these chickens. I would never finish them and would just shove them in a box and then frantically finish them before a market one day. I'm trying not to do that anymore. There's just so many parts of things, and it's usually where I've run out of yarn or I have to sew something. That's usually where I finish. But yeah, we don't show the whips in the videos because that's admitting we have a problem. But yeah. I agree. 6 chickens out of 13 finished. And you know what? If I wasn't talking, it might go faster, but then it might not happen at all. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. I can do a lot in a day. I like watching the Instagram reels of people like, this is what I crocheted this week. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. I can't do that. But I can. I just never have the evidence. I crochet a lot. I have to keep my hands busy. I hate it when my hands aren't busy. I am going to have to finish this at some point because it is so cold out here. And I need to do some editing and I cannot go to bed late again. We keep going to bed at like midnight and getting woken up by our daughter at 6. And then the boy wakes up in the middle of the night as well. There is no sleep. No sleep happening in this house. What's everybody's plans for New Year's? I always like staying in for New Year's. I did all the parties. I did all the, getting drunk, staying out at people's houses. I don't do that anymore. I have stayed in for New Year's, although I usually work New Year's. I've worked New Year's the past, I think I've done it like 10 out of the last 13 years. I like working New Year's night. There's like a really good sense of camaraderie. But I'm still on maternity leave. So New Year's for me this year, I'm on call for a different company. So still working. Always working. Right. I think let's finish this one. Make it up to a nice uneven number. And go from there. I don't like going out on New Year's Eve. Too many drunk drivers. See, this is the kind of New Year's I'm into. Nice, quiet at home. But if I'm working, I get to deal with the drunk drivers. So, unfortunately, see the aftermath of that. But yeah, I've had some interesting New Year's. But yeah, the only times I've really not worked is when I've been on maternity leave. And the other half and I stay in. And just chill. We watch the fireworks and then go, night. I think one year we went to bed at like 6 p.m. because we were so tired. Woke up, watched the fireworks, and then went back to bed. It's just like, yeah, Happy New Year. Cool. Christmas is my big celebration, and I will always work New Year's to try and get Christmas off. So I'll always go to the rota person and say, I'll do your New Year's Eve nights, and like I'll do all of them, but can I have Christmas off, please? I don't think I'll get away without working Christmas next year. I think I will have to work it next year, but that's okay. It's part of what I signed up for. I've been quite lucky with Christmases, to be fair. I've worked a fair few, but it could have been more. So yeah, not too bad. There you go. Stuffed a bomb. Right, he just needs his hair. I need to figure out my lighting because you can't see his face properly. The lights are just a bit too much. There we go. It is 9:30 in the evening. I am going to finish up here. I have some editing to do. And yeah, tomorrow is another day of sorting the house. It feels like we've been sorting the house for ages, but I'm like selling loads of furniture, selling loads of stuff online, just trying to get rid of as much as possible that we don't need or anymore. Don't want to live in clutter in the new house, she says, with that background. Yarn is not clutter. Yarn is important. Yeah, so sorting the house tomorrow is the plan, because it's still chaos from Christmas. And there's still a mountain of laundry. Oh, normal people problems. All right. Okay. But yeah. Can't believe like the first week of the holidays is already gone. Got one more week and then everything goes back to normal. It's gone so fast. Like, I do love December. December is just a fun month. It's all the Christmas lights. We invested in new lights this year. It's very cute. And I'm going to save up for more next year because, you know, I need to set this house on light. Christmas is getting bigger and bigger every year. And I love it. Right. Okay. 7. So let's get these guys down. I am going to call it here because I'm getting a bit hungry. So, right, let's see if we can do, you know, the classic display shot. Seven chickens and some carcasses still left. But thank you, everybody, for joining me and just chatting this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it today, then maybe check out some of my videos. There will be more coming. I know I'm a new channel, just starting, and I'm learning. I hope you've had a fantastic Christmas, and I hope you have a lovely new year. And if you've liked, maybe hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on another live. Bye, guys.